Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, you will understand about the map method that we have in JavaScript. So first I will explain you the basics of map method along with some questions. Then I will show you how you can transform these lines of code into just 4 lines of code using the map method. So let's start with our video. So first let us have the syntax of the map method. So I will show you the syntax with an example. Suppose we have an array of numbers. So first parameter of this map method is the current value. This one is the required parameter. It means in order to use map method, you must have this parameter. The second parameter is the ID, which is the ID of the current element. And the third parameter is the array itself, this complete array. So these two parameters are the optional parameters. You can skip this if you want. These two parameters are used when we have their uses in our web projects. Otherwise, we can skip this. So let me console log these three parameters and show you. And I hope you all know about this. In an arrow function, if we have multiple statements, then we use curly braces. So let me run this script and show you the result. So as you can see, first we have the current value, which is this one, and the ID of the current value, that is 0, and the third parameter, that is the array itself. Then again the current value 2, ID of the current value 1, and again the array itself. This third parameter will hold the complete array. So now let me show you what the map method does. So it creates a new array, iterating over each element of the array, and it does not modify the original array. So let me show you this also with some example. Again, let us have an array of numbers. Suppose we want to calculate the square roots or maybe the square of these numbers. So we will have map method which will calculate the squares of this number. So numbers.map, we will not use the optional parameters here as we don't need this here. So we will use the required parameter only, which is the current value. And we want the square. So simply we will do current value into current value. And let us have the original array as well to show you the map method does not change the original array. So as you can see, we got the squares of the number very easily with the map method in just one line. And the original array is as it is. So let us have one more example. So suppose we have an array of objects and we need to print the names of the persons. So suppose we want to print the name of this persons. So let me show you with the traditional method first, that is the for loop. Then I will show you how you can achieve this in just one line of code using the map method. So if we use the traditional method, that is for loop, then we will have an empty array which will store the names of the persons. Then we will have the for loop which will start from 0, traverse till the length of the array. So we will use push method of array. So as you can see, we got the names of the persons. Now let us achieve the same thing using the map method. So let me just copy this. Now we will use the map method. So this would be persons.map, and we will use the current value as we don't need the ID and the array. And we want only the name. So we will have user.name. So as you can see, we got the names of the persons quite simply, right? So previously we were writing 4 lines of code for the simple thing. Now the same thing we achieved in just one line of code with the map method. So now let me show you the actual use of the map method which we will have in our web projects. So you will see the main use of the map method when you will create your projects. So now let us have that example. So suppose we have the names of these users, and suppose we need to display the names of the users in our web page. So we will do this with JavaScript. First with the traditional method and then with the map method. So here in HTML, we have the UL. With the JavaScript, we will create the li for these names and display that on the web page. So first, we need to get this UL with the ID, that is name list. Now we will create the LIs for the name So it would be li1 document dot create element, that is li, then li dot text content to have the names of the users. That is users of 0. For displaying this name, the first name, we will go with the index. So let us see it is working or not. So yes, we got the name. So let us do this for other names also. So as you can see, we got the names of the users in our web page, but we wrote plenty of lines of codes. So as you can see, so now let us achieve the same thing using the map method in just few lines of codes. So let me just copy this names of the users. So again, get the UL, that is from the name list. So now let's do the same thing using the map method. So we will simply have users.map. Here also we don't need the other parameters. And again, we need to create this li. So li dot text content, which would be the name. So all the names of the users will get stored here in this name variable, or name parameter, I should say. So now let us see it is displaying the name correctly or not. So yes, we achieved the same thing using the map method quite simply, right? So what it does, it created a new array iterating over each name and doing these things for each of this name. It means first it would have created an li dot text content and then it would have appended that to UL for this Alice. Then the same thing for Bob, and similarly for this 10 names. So instead of writing these lines of code, plenty of lines of code, I think. So for each name, we were creating an li, then we were putting the name inside that li, and then we were appending that to the UL. So instead of doing this for individual elements, we used a map method. So the things that we were doing here, map method did for us. So yes, that's all for this video. Hope you all understood about the use of map method, and hope now you can efficiently use map methods in your web projects. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.